3 or 4 minutes to go to kick off. So the scene certainly one which is typical Junior Cup final one. The atmosphere bubbling underneath us, a lot of very committed people around, and I'm very happy to be joined in the commentary position by the Scottish Junior International team manager John Hughes, who will be keeping us right throughout the match with some of his observations. And the teams are due to come out. There's the referee and 2 linesmen leading the 2 teams out, sensibly wearing tracksuit tops. That's the mascots on each side. The Arthurlie mascot, little boy. Well, there's the Pollok mascot. Can't be more than 3 to 4 years old, carrying the horseshoe. And the Arthurlie mascot, little Craig Redburn, is the son of the captain of Arthurlie, John Redburn, their centre half. And I wonder how much he'll remember of this occasion. And a close-up of a man who hopes very much that Pollok will win the cup. So very tense moments these for the teams. John Hughes, you're familiar obviously with both sides. What kind of game do you think we'll have this afternoon?
I think both teams here are very contrasting styles, with Pollok more of the footballing side and Arthurlie with their up and atom 100% effort. And I think both teams have men who can win the game for them on the wings. Alec McVeigh of Pollok and Archie Lochray of Arthurlie. Both of them are very quick and can take men on, and I think you'll see these 2 very prominent throughout the game.
And there's a banner from the Arthurlie supporters. That tells its own story. Well, they haven't had to come far, of course, this afternoon, just down from Barhead. And that Norrie, I think we can assume, is Norrie Fulton, the very popular Pollok centre-forward. 12 years in the junior game and still to win a cup winners medal. This would certainly be an important afternoon for him. He is, of course, a junior internationalist. And there are the Pollok banners round the crowd as the teams are being introduced at the moment to the dignitaries. Norrie Fulton having a chat there. The stocky figure just shaking hands. There he is. So the pitch obviously will be a little bit treacherous, I think, after that heavy rain we've had. The surface will be greasy. John, you think that might have some bad impact on either side?
I think really the surface will be quite good. You know, last year it was very, very warm and the players at the end of the game were very, very tired. I think today it's actually a better game for the players. It's not so good for spectators, but I think the players will appreciate these conditions.
The Arthurlie goalkeeper Dennis Connican, his last visit to Hampden was in 1974 when he won a cup medal playing for Celtic. So there's one to boost the confidence of the Arthurlie striker Grant McIntosh, superstar. Lord Provost Michael Kelly is the man being introduced just now to the Arthurlie mascot, little Craig Redburn. And John Redburn, the Arthurlie captain, introducing his teammates, the Lord Provost. I think, in fairness, John, perhaps these are moments that the players don't really relish too much hanging about for their liking, perhaps.
I think that's correct. I think the players would rather get out there, get themselves loosened up and get on with the game. They're very tense moments these, and it doesn't do anyone any good to be hanging about this long. But unfortunately, you've got to go through these kind of introductions before these big occasions.
Well, it certainly is an occasion, and these preliminaries are a key aspect of that. But what the crowd are waiting for is the action to begin. Now getting to the Arthurlie training staff. The Stetson belonging to the Arthurlie manager, John Dove. Well, I think we'll be seeing that waved very high in the air towards the end of the match if Arthurlie do what John Dove has been saying for several months they will do, namely win the Junior Cup. And yet another banner on the terraces. And the Lee referring, of course, to Arthurlie from Barhead. So the referee now allowing both teams to break and begin the final warm-up. So Pollok breaking to the left. So an early feel of the turf, obviously very important to these players. And the tops being peeled off now, but the Pollok side, there it is, shows one notable absentee, and that of course is their centre half Stuart Auld, who broke his collarbone just a couple of weeks ago, and he misses this afternoon's final after being a key man in the Pollok side throughout the match. Murray Fulton, the Pollok and Scotland junior centre forward, 31 years old, very determined to win the Cup Winners' Medal before his career ends, and he'll certainly be a very big menace to the Arthurlie defence. There's Norrie Hall on the left there, the Pollok captain, very experienced player. He's played in all three senior leagues for Clydebank, a Premier League player when they were promoted some years ago, and reinstated just last summer to Pollok, their captain, and he'll play right in the heart of the defence. There's the Arthurlie side on pretty familiar lines. We can expect their front three to be Skippon, McIntosh and Loughry, and these men carry a lot of menace and pace up front. There's Dennis Conaghan. 1974 he came here with Celtic to win the Cup by winning 3-0 against Dundee United, and he had the save of the match against Andy Gray. Grant McIntosh, the Arthurlie centre forward, played here in the Junior Cup final last season for Benburb and finished in the losing side, so that's a double he will not be looking for, 2 losers' medals. The referee this afternoon is Douglas Yates from Perth, 38 years old, employed in the whisky business in Perth, and he's joined in fact by his linesman Bill Crombie from Edinburgh, who will be on the far side, and on the near side Kevin O'Donnell of Airdrie. So it's Arthurlie who will kick off. The preliminaries are over, the moment they've all been waiting for, as Arthurlie set the 1981 Junior Cup final in motion. So Jim Marshall's early touch back to Conaghan. Now here's Marshall. Fulton coming across to cut him off. Marshall again. The man in space was Heaney, but he's crowded out. This is Redburn. The man breaking there is Bobby Skippon, but too much pace in the ball, bouncing off that greasy surface. So number 8 for Pollok is Jim Maloney to take the throw. Looking for Fulton. Marshall is in quickly. And back for an early touch for goalkeeper Brian Crombie. Foul from John Dougal coming in very heavily on Tom Carberry. Free kick to Pollok. The burly figure of Norrie Fulton waiting for some action in that Arthurlie box. That's aimed towards Fulton. Well, Jim Marshall's been involved in the early stages, the left back for Arthurlie. Correction for that. Jim Marshall has to correct the Christian name to Joe, the ex-Dumbarton player. So the throw to Pollok. Fulton looking for the long throw. McVeigh sending it in. And the goal kick given. Fulton claiming that ball came off Dougal, but it's a goal kick to Arthurlie. And the first attack from Pollok is coped with. So there's a close-up of Dennis Conaghan. Very much a key man in the Arthurlie defence. So much experience. Played for Celtic, St Mirren, Morton, and finished up with Clyde. Header on from Heaney. Now Mullaney playing it wide. Robertson towards McVeigh. We can expect McVeigh to play in both left and right flanks. And that's Redburn coming across to concede the first corner kick of the match. There's John Towie, who's come over to take the corner kick. Conaghan twisting it away. That's a good break from deep from Dougal and sent tumbling by Carberry. That's a bad tackle which referee Yates will try to stamp out with a word of warning right at the start. So there's Dougal breaking out of defence. Number 7 coming across is Carberry. Dougal has won it comprehensively. And that's a blatant foul. John, a tense opening?
Well, I think you must expect this, Jock, in the cup finals. I think the players will all be nervous and it'll take them 5 or 10 minutes to find their feet and get the pace off the pitch. But it hasn't been a bad opening, when you've taken all things considered.
Well, certainly Arthurlie will not want to lose John Dougal at this stage, but happily he seems to have recovered. Thompson playing it forward. It's turned into space, but no chance of a pull-up forward getting to that. Redburn in no hurry to take the throw, leaving that to Isaac Graham. Skippon beaten by Hepburn. McIntosh very closely marked by Hall. Now Skippon. Good decisive challenge from Hepburn. Now a chance for Arthurlie to apply some pressure in the Pollok defence for about the first time. That's Loughry. Corner kick is given. David Ebner is the man at the corner flag. No, in fact, a throw-in. This is McIntosh spinning the ball from Hall. Playing it behind for the goal kick. There's Grant McIntosh, a great disappointment to any player to lose in a final. But not so many get a quick chance to put things right. So there's Brian Crombie. Jim Robertson getting a feel of the ball. A long header through. Straight to Crombie. Eddie Doherty. Now Mullaney for Pollok. In the arms of Dennis Conaghan and Joe Marshall. Again, always making himself available for these throw-outs. That's surely a free kick to Arthurlie. Jackie Heaney sent spinning there by Jim Mullaney. Marshall's free kick. A long chase for Skippon. Hepburn will be there first. And Hall sending it back to Crombie. The header on from Marlin. This is McVeigh on the flank again. Trying to take on Marshall, and Thompson coming across the Arthurlie sweeper, number 4. McVeigh wins the corner kick. There's John Thompson. So the marking is very tight in that Arthurlie box. Towie's corner kick. A chance for Doherty. Very sharp tackle from Graham, conceding the throw. McVeigh is the long throw expert for Pollok. Taking the short one this time. Getting round the back. And it was just over. The ball was just over the goal line before it was pulled back. So a relief to the Arthurlie defence. The goal kick to be taken by Dennis Conaghan. A little more menace coming from Pollok in the opening stages, John.
Well, I think even at this early stage, Alec McVeigh has shown that he can be the match winner for Pollok. His pace is troubling the Pollok defence, and once or twice he's got round behind them.
So that's Carberry playing it wide. Robertson flighting it forward. What a great clearance from John Redburn. And now it's McVeigh. That was hit one going forward, but the ball's behind for the corner kick to Pollok. And certainly more for the big Pollok support to relish in the opening stages. There's Eddie Doherty coming into the box. Head flick on from Coulton. Doherty showing good ball control. A big man. Skipping, miskicking the clearance. Now McIntosh to take some pressure off the Arthurlie defence. Hustled all the way by Robertson. This is Heaney. Now Jim Mullaney. Hepburn playing it forward. 10 minutes of the match gone. Mullaney very much the playmaker in midfield for Pollok. Robertson forward to Carberry. Trying to get away past Heaney. Good piece of defending by Jackie Heaney. Still the pressure is on the Arthurlie goal, occupied by Dennis Conaghan. Rory Hall going forward. Back of the box. Played in by Towie. There's the header and Conaghan is there. Marlin's header and Conaghan perfectly positioned. John Towie was the man with the corner kick in that crowded box at the 6-yard line. Marlin with the header. Conaghan watching it very carefully. The blonde figure of Carberry playing it forward. Thompson. Now Joe Marshall. McIntosh making the wide run, followed by Hall. Heaney back to Marshall. That's an easy one for Carberry to cut out. The challenge from McIntosh. Robertson playing it forward. That determined challenge from Thompson, adjudged unfair by referee Yates. So the free kick to Pollok. Number 3 is Mick Hepburn. Very crisp left foot. He's looking for Marlin and straight through to Conaghan. And Marlin the target for these high balls. Marshall to McIntosh. Once again, Hall is the winner of that tussle. Missed out by Thompson. Redburn providing the cover. And a spell senior with St Mirren. McVeigh with a throw. Takes it back from Fulton. Beautiful touch from McVeigh. And Fulton's turn, wins the corner kick. The challenge coming in from Isaac Graham. Bake and Malani working the short corner kick. Retrieved by Cowie. Pollok has come for it, and he's won it. So Pollok retained the stranglehold. Malani's cross. Fine leap there from Marlin, but he just couldn't get power behind the header. Graham made a long way forward, but now he has possession again. Lochray, well, I haven't seen much of Archie Lochray, and I know he's a man on whom Arthurlie are putting a lot of hopes. Hepburn clearing it up for Pollok. Now Carberry. The ball skidding away from Hepburn. Ebner for Arthurlie. Well screened by McIntosh. Turning back into trouble though. Graham's cross. They're skipping in space. And he was not offside. That was a chance for Bobby Skippin. I don't think he could believe that. All on his own. So the quickly taken cross, and look at the space for Skippin. Appeals for offside ignored. And that was a great chance for the opening goal. Well, Arthurlie may regret that miss, John.
Well, I think it just teaches Pollok a lesson after having all the early play. Although Bobby Skippin looked offside, it shows you can never relax it in cup finals, and that was a great chance for Arthurlie.
So 15 minutes gone. That's the clock that tells the story. 15 minutes gone, no scoring so far, although Pollok certainly the team threatening more often up front. That's McVeigh pulling it back to the byline, but Flanagan is very alert coming off his line. Thompson's ball forward. Doherty through the middle. Dougal running into trouble. Carberry winning possession. It's a careless pass. McVeigh had a bit of room to work if he could have had that played to feet. Close up of Tommy Carberry, explaining to Alec McVeigh his intentions. Jackie Heaney's excellent left foot in operation. Challenge from McVeigh, giving the throw to Arthurlie. Marshall to Ebner. Well, he thought that Heaney was still square, but he'd moved forward. So the throw to Pollok. Redburn climbing over. Andy Marlin conceding the free kick. Dennis Flanagan. Well, Pollok have a history going back 73 years without the Scottish Junior Cup to show for their efforts. Making a very determined effort to put that right. Here's Malani. Good control. Well cut out by Graham. This time Marshall's clearance. Hepburn playing it forward. Cowie is onside. But again, the ball gathering pace off the surface. So there's a man who's seen a lot of the ball in the early stages, and that's trouble for Joe Marshall. Casual with that clearance, picked up by McVeigh. Good recovery tackle. There's Malani. Near post ball for Fulton. And Marlon's attempt blocked there by Graham. That's a splendid tackle by Isaac Graham. Coming in very quickly on Marlon after Fulton caused the trouble. Well, the Arthurlie defence moving dangerously, but still remaining very diligent in the box. Here's McVeigh. Now Carberry. Fulton again, beaten by Redburn. Well, the Arthurlie skipper exhorting his men to greater effort. Laurie Fulton perhaps sensing an opening goal. That's the man they have to beat, Dennis Connican. Pollok using McVeigh again, that's a great cross. The header from Doherty coming off the bar. Well, Pollok must now be wondering what they have to do to get in front. There's the long ball over. The dominant figure there is Eddie Doherty. Connican is beaten, but he's saved by the crossbar. So the trouble's not over for Arthurlie. Another corner kick. Near post ball. That's Dougal heading it behind. Getting a deflection from Carberry to give the very welcome goal kick to Arthurlie. There's Eddie Doherty. He won't come any closer to opening the scoring. Well, Doherty coming into the team really as a replacement for the very unfortunate Stuart Hall, but doing very well indeed, John.
Yes, he's a very experienced player, Eddie Doherty. That was a tremendous effort. And Pollok certainly the side to have settled quickest. And there's the opening goal. Tremendous goal from Fulton.
And Norrie Fulton gives Pollok the lead, which they've been threatening for so long. So the ball played through the middle. The chase was on. The first man there was Norrie Fulton. Connican couldn't cut him off. And that's the finishing which has made Fulton such a hero in junior football for so long. So 21 minutes on the clock. Pollok one in front. And the lead, which they certainly could not be grudged on the play so far. Norrie Fulton, the happiest man in Hampden Park at the moment. Now, it was very important, I think, for Pollok to get some reward for that early pressure. They might have become a little bit frustrated or dispirited if they hadn't got a goal, but now they have one. They may well carry on to dominate proceedings right throughout the first half at least. Let's see what Arthurlie can do to change the pattern. Jim Robertson. John Thompson coming across, trying to play an accurate ball forward, but that extra time allowing Andy Marlon to block the ball forward. Lockley not quite keeping it in play. So this is Arthurlie's ball. Well, Jackie Heaney wants a free kick, but it's clearly a throw-in. That's been awarded by referee Yates. A little nudge in the back from Malani on Heaney. That'll have to be retaken. Grant McIntosh in the box for Joe Marshall's free kick. There's Ebner in space. And good handling by Crombie. David Ebner, perhaps the smallest man on the Arthurlie side, but he wasn't picked up when that ball came in. Pushed from behind by Redburn on Marlon. Free kick to Pollok. Quickly taken by Carberry, but beautifully read there by Thompson. McIntosh having a tough time to get away from Norrie Hall. There's the Pollok midfield workhorse, Tommy Carberry. Keeney's header forward. That's Carberry to Maloney. McVeigh had come inside and wasn't available for that ball, which I'm sure was intended for him. Here's John Thompson, pressurised by Fulton. Now Maloney. His delicate skills have been a feature of the opening 20 minutes or so. Now McVeigh. Has a great ability to go right or left with a lot of control. Crosses beyond Connaughton, and it was very important that John Redburn won that one. So still the pressure remains on Arthurlie. John Towie is number 6 and he's an ex-Arthurlie player. Fulton marked by Thompson. Big playing it in and Thompson's header out. Lockery taking the pressure off the Arthurlie defence. This is McIntosh showing his pace. But the control letting him down, and that's a throw to Pollok.
I think Arthurlie are finding the occasion just a bit much for them at the moment. I think they've got to try and slow their game down, try and find feet with the ball. That was a typical example there. Grant McIntosh had lots of time, and yet he still managed to run the ball out the field.
There's Carberry again, using his strength in midfield. That's great play by Carberry. Eventually a tackle from John Dougal, halting his progress unfairly. Free kick to Pollok. And there's the winner of the 3 o'clock at Thirsk, Errol's Boy, at the handsome price of 25 to 1. So I hope you had your money on that one. And anyone here with their money in Pollok must be feeling quite confident at the moment. It seems to me that if Pollok could go 2 in front, the game may well suddenly be completely beyond Arthurlie, but they are known for their fighting qualities, the men from Barhead. Here's McIntosh. Dougal up in support. That's just too far ahead of Ebner. Crombie just got to it in time. It would have been a corner kick. The rangy stride of Marlon doesn't carry him there of Marshall. Morani holding off that fierce challenge from Heaney. Thompson in quickly on Marlon, and he was won the throw with the deflection. So it's Arthurlie's ball taken by Marshall. Now Lockery. Doing well to resist the challenge from Carberry. Well, Pollok certainly seemed to have the ideal blend both in midfield and up front. They've got the power and the strength of Carberry. That's him making the challenge, along with the delicate touches from Maloney. Diligent work from Towie also in midfield. Up front, the burly strength of Fulton set off with the skills of McVeigh and the aerial power of Marlon. Impressive line-up, John.
Yes, and I think you can see, as everyone can see, Pollok are settled very, very well. They're playing very attractive football, and at the moment they deserve their lead. And it looks to me, as you said, if they get another goal, Arthurlie would have an awful lot of work to do from there.
But we must remember that Arthurlie have had the toughest of runs through to Cup final. They beat last year's 2 finalists, Baillieston and Benburb. In fact, got an equaliser in the first game against Bernburb with about 30 seconds to go before winning the replay handsomely back at Barhead. So they know what it's all about to fight. And the game will be held up. A bit of treatment here to Tommy Carberry. Isaac Graham taking a welcome rest. Well, Carberry on the deck, and certainly Pollok will be anxious to have him back in the fray. Tommy Carberry is number 7. The anxious figure bending over him is Jim Mullaney. Jim Mullaney was senior with Airdrie for a spell, getting some encouragement there from Norrie Hall. So Carberry recovers. The throw already taken by Graham for Arthurlie. Skipping into space for McIntosh. Well, the tackle adjudged unfair by the referee, although Norrie Hall, I think, may feel a shade aggrieved. Now, what would Arthurlie give for a goal to get them right back in the match? McIntosh, number 9. Ebner will take the free kick. That's McIntosh getting to that. There's Loughry. Now Ebner returning it. And slicing off his right foot behind. Well, Arthurlie aren't having enough attacks to be able to afford any carelessness when they get into good positions. As John Hughes was saying, it seems that they're just a little bit hurried and not stringing these passes together. So Crombie's goal kick. Fake failing to control it. Graham to McIntosh. Skipping. This is better now from Arthurlie. Here's Ebner. Look at the cover coming across and the long range effort from John Dougal. Well, Dougal renowned for his dead ball kicking at free kicks. Well, the latest score from Swansea, from the Vitchfield, Wales 2, Scotland 0. Certainly bad news for all Scots fans. That experimental lineup of Jockstein struggling in Swansea. So half an hour gone. Pollok leading by that Norrie Fulton goal to 0. There's Fulton coming away from Marshall. So the clock showing the scoreline. Pollok 1, Arthurlie 0, and just over half an hour gone. Isaac Graham staying yard or 2. Good positioning by Thompson to take that throw. And by Joe Marshall wide on the left. Here's Loughry. Well covered by Jim Robertson. Loughry's pace should provide a substantial threat to Pollok. If only they can get the service from the back in midfield. It's Joe Marshall. Loughry to Heaney. Again, the ball skinning out of range for Heaney. Archie Loughry also knows the disappointment of losing in the Junior Cup final. He lost with Rob Roy about 4 years ago. Mullaney clearing up for Pollok. Touch on from Carberry. Here's Ebner. A determined challenge from Cowie, getting the ball forward to McVeigh. Marlon and Fulton through the middle. Hepburn on the overlap. Crossing towards Fulton, and there's Connaughton commanding his goal area. Well, Dougal got it past Carberry, but cover is there. Now Heaney for Arthurlie. Dougal winning the high one. Beautiful ball from Mullaney to McVeigh. This combination causing Arthurlie endless trouble. But that cross, a disappointment for Pollok. play by Ebner. Tipped by Marlin. We have little Isaac Graham. Bobby skipping. Off the head of Malani, that'll go for a throw. Jackie Heaney. So Heaney again with the throw. Loughlin making himself available. Heaney gets the ball across. And much too close to Brian Crombie. Curry playing it back. That's done by Mick Beck. Fulton going round the back of Redburn, but help from Marshall to rescue the situation for Arthurlie now. Isaac Graham. Ebner always stayed wide to provide that option. Now Dougal. The skipping. Free kick. Well, that challenge by Norrie Hall certainly signs now that Arthurlie are beginning to settle. Finding their men much better. I think they have dropped the pace, as John Hughes realised they recommended from afar. And the passage becoming much more active. There's Brian Crombie. John Dougal is the dead ball expert for Arthurlie. And the wall lined up by Pollok showing due respect. It's at an angle, but 5 men in that wall. Ebner's over the ball also. Heaney. And that free kick charged down by Mick Baker. I wonder if he was fully 10 yards from the ball when the kick was taken, but the corner kick to Arthurlie. John Redburn, number 5. Keen to inspire his men back into this match. There's David Ebner. Good corner kick. And well, here clear by Hepburn. Helped in its way by Towie. Ebner taken out of the game by Towie. That's a free kick, all right. No argument from John Towie. Ebner has been senior with both Motherwell and Airdrie. He is to take this free kick. Redburn is there, McIntosh is 9. It's McIntosh just below that one. Now he got in behind Norrie Hall, but couldn't find the inches to get his head to the cross.
Very good chance for Arthurlie there. I think that, you know, it's important at this stage that they try and get themselves back into the game, and a goal would certainly be very helpful to them, and they must make the best of any half chances that come their way, and I think that was a very good half chance.
Well, things evening out here at Hampden after an early blitz by Pollok, culminating in the opening goal from Norrie Fulton. Now Arthurlie getting themselves bedded into the task. Lovely piece of skill from Heaney. The ball to McIntosh. There's Loughlin. Can he turn in the box? Done well to find Marshall. There's McIntosh. Now that really should have been the equaliser. A great build-up from Arthurlie this time. Marshall with the finishing cross. There's McIntosh now. He's all over the ball. Perhaps trying to be too precise with the header to place it beyond Crombie. For another chance goes a begging for Arthurlie. But now the Arthurlie supporters having the chance to work up some support for the favourites. Carberry winning possession from Dougal, and Dougal's return challenge giving the free kick to Pollok. So more attention for Tommy Carberry. The Arthurlie dugout. Stetson has disappeared for the moment. And John Dove. Well, that's the second time Carberry's required attention. With a strong man, I think he'll be determined to see this task out to the finish. Moani's free kick. Now a chance for Skippon. The free kick given and already taken. That's good play by Skippon. This is Dougal. Now Lochry. That was a good pass, in fact, but Dougal was caught on the wrong foot. And Coulton under pressure from Ebner can keep the throw in. Now Arthurlie right back in this match. Skippon being crowded out. And the decision goes Pollok's way, the throw in at the corner flag. There's Coulton in the break. Robertson's pass forward, cut out by Thompson. Now a chase for McIntosh with Hall, and the free kick is given. And referee Douglas Yates will have a word with Norrie Hall. That can only be for persistent infringement of the rules. So the Pollok skipper, Norrie Hall, gets a warning. And Arthurlie looking more eager by the minute, having overcome that dreadful start, warming to the task. 5 minutes left in the first half. The normal Arthurlie triumvirate for the free kick: Ebner, Heaney and Dougal. Dougal's the man with a powerful shot. Touch to the side. A sweetly driven shot, but straight at Crombie. So the 29-year-old Pollok keeper sends the ball deep to the Arthurlie half. Now Hepburn. Skippon withstands that challenge. Advantage is given, but the ball is now back in the possession of Pollok. Here's Mullaney. Running into trouble. Thoughts go through my mind, John, now the fact that Pollok had a 2-goal lead in the first semi-final and had to go to a replay to make this final.
Well, there are some people who say that Pollok tend to fade out of the game in the second half. And, you know, the way things are going at the moment, the longer the game goes, Arthurlie seem to have lost their early nerves and they're coming more and more into the game. And the signs are ominous for Pollok at this stage.
Yes, quite a transformation. Here's McVeigh. Looking for Marlin on the run. Cut up by Graham, but Coulton again. That cross not really troubling Connaughton. His Hepburn in the middle, a lot of yards to get the position wide in the left, but Arthurlie again coming forward. Not David Ebner's best pass of the match, and the throw to Pollok. In the opening 20 minutes or so, we saw very little of the Arthurlie midfield of Ebner, Dougal and Heaney, but that situation has changed dramatically since about the 25-minute mark. The result is that the service to McVeigh, Fulton and Marlin has begun to dry up.
I think it's very important for Pollok that Jim Malani plays. He's the man who, everything goes through him for Pollok, and if he plays well, then Pollok seemed to play well. And he started the game very well, but it seems to have faded.
And a lot of the credit for that may go to Jackie Heaney, who's got very close to him after the opening 20 minutes or so and given him no room to work. So the half-time score from the Litchfield in Swansea, Wales 2, Scotland 0, both goals scored by Ian Walsh. So let's hope Jock Steen can work some magic in the half-time pep talk. And just a minute and a half left here at Hampden before the half-time pep talks take place. Docherty turning it back. So Heaney with the throw for Arthurlie. So here's Joe Marshall now taking over from Heaney. Lofty bump from behind. Jim Robertson now getting a word from the referee, second Pollok defender. So Joe Marshall with his free kick for Arthurlie. Headed down by Malani. That's McVeigh. Malani taking the pressure off. The Pollok have come out in numbers. The flag is up. McIntosh and Skippon both offside. So the 45 minutes are up. Injury time added on for the time devoted to the attention for Tommy Carberry. So Mick Hepburn's left foot to send the ball forward, not a very good one. Loughley's header. Chowie sending it on. This is Graham. Skidding through to Crombie. And that's the half-time whistle. An enthralling first half. Pollok leading by 1-0. The scorer Norrie Fulton in 21 minutes. There he is going off. But a match dominated early on by Pollok. A complete transformation in the later stages of the first half as Arthurlie came right back into the picture, with the result of the match is very evenly poised. So we'll go into the break now. When you rejoin us, we'll show you the 3 o'clock race from Thirsk, and then Andy Melvin will give the results of the goal of the season competition and the save of the season competition. So join us in a couple of minutes. Will be significant. Grant McIntosh denied by a good diving save from Brian Crombie. So we'll see now how Arthurlie can pick up the action which they began to show to some effect in the first half. So there's David Ebner picking the ball out of the puddles around Hampden. Now Loughrey. Good piece of defending, and that's cleared up. That was Jim Robertson who came all the way across. He's marking Archie Loughrey, getting very close to him, acknowledging the danger which was expected from Loughrey, and that's Marlin making a challenge on Graham. I think Pollok, perhaps John, having to make up their mind that they can't allow Arthurlie to settle into the game the way they did late in the first half.
Yes, I think this is the all-important half for Pollok, and of course for Arthurlie. But Pollok have the reputation, as I said earlier on, of tending to drop out of the game in the second half. As you said, at Love Street they were 2-0 up and ended up drawing 2 each. And I was at the game and felt that if the game would have gone any longer, then Pollok may very well have lost the game.
Well, there's a close-up of the goal scorer, Norrie Fulton. Not a lot in evidence throughout the first half or after the first 50 minutes or so, but everything he did in the box carried menace. Robertson clearing up for Pollok. Thompson very determined for Arthurlie. That seems to be the big change in the lineup. Here's Lochrie. Checking back, waiting for support in the middle. Now Heaney. There's Dougal. Well, that's the kind of chance Arthurlie like to get for John Dougal. The deflection winning the corner kick. Another good build-up from Arthurlie. There's Jackie Heaney now, forced to go wide. The tackle getting the ball to Dougal. A lot of power in the shot, but an early deflection giving the corner kick to Arthurlie. And the big difference for me really is the fact that Arthurlie have begun to look so determined in these 50-50 balls in midfield. They seem to lose them all in the first 20 minutes or so. This is Ebner's corner kick. Missed by Hall. And Towie sending it out. Graham's throw, now Lochrie skipping. Graham's toss is blocked, but again Pollok content to concede the throw. It's Tommy Carberry. Graham to Lochrie. Good tackle from Carberry. Little hard, Lochre's fighting for it. Standing cross from Graham and headed away by Hall. The corner kick to Arthurlie. And how their supporters have come to life. A short one this time from Ebner. Heaney on that educated left foot. There's a chance for Lochrie. And the ball finishes in the arms of Brian Crombie. Oh, no luck there for Arthurlie. Jackie Heaney caused the trouble. So good on that left side. Lighting it towards the near post. There's Lochrie off the chest of Crombie, and Lochrie even the second attempt couldn't find a way to score. McVick back to Mullaney. 5 minutes of the second half gone. John Thompson, pressurised by Marlin. Considered that well to find Joe Marshall. McIntosh shielding it well. Looking for Dougal again for the shot from the edge of the box. This is John Dougal. Trying to play that wide in the left, I think, for a run from Joe Marshall, but didn't quite catch it properly. The throw is to Arthurlie, and an injury to John Thompson will hold up proceedings. The near side linesman Bill Crombie from Edinburgh, making his third appearance in 8 days at Hampden. He was on the line for the cup final last week between Rangers and Dundee United, and for the replay on Tuesday night, on which occasion he celebrated his birthday, and today's his wedding anniversary, would you believe? So I'm sure he'll be very popular at home. But John Thompson has recovered, and Arthurlie back in possession. Isaac Graham. That's beyond McIntosh and picked out by Crombie. It's a good throw out. McVeigh's first real chance to run at the Arthurlie defence for some time. Marshall doing well, stalling his run forward. Joe Marshall certainly had a good match for Arthurlie, despite some early troubles caused by McVake's meanderings to the right. Corner kick to Pollok. Joe Marshall going to mark the short corner kick which Pollok are contemplating between McVake and Mullaney. There's Eddie Doherty. Remember, he hit the bar from a header in the first half. Doherty's 5, Fulton is 9. Cowie taking the near post ball. Mullaney, that ball swerving and bouncing awkwardly in front of Dennis Connican. Almost sneaking past him to give Pollok a goal, which would surely have sent the cup to Newlandsfield. Bobby Skippon. Google. Marshall. Away by Hall. Good touch on Fulton to Cowie, and a swinging ball in for McVake. Carrying out of play. Well, John, Arthurlie are certainly presenting some problems for Pollok in the second half.
Yes, I think Pollok have lost the discipline that they had early on. I think they're allowing themselves to be pushed back in defence, and the longer they allow that to happen, then Arthurlie will gain the upper hand without doubt, as they have at the moment, and probably score the equaliser.
Well, as you said in the first half, a spell of dominance and pressure really requires a goal to set it off. Arthurlie still looking for it. There's Crombie. Good handling. So the foul conceded by Tommy Carberry in midfield. Been in the wars in the first half. Bake to Carberry. Mullaney coming up in support. Fulton through the middle. So is Marlin. That's for Marlin. And Redburn is there with a challenge to concede the corner kick. John Dougal, number 8, waving back some of his forward colleagues. Bake playing it, good dummy. Very clever dummy from Fulton, but Arthurlie not deceived inside the box. So the free kick quickly taken. Arthurlie now confident enough to begin their build-ups right from their own penalty box. Flick on from Ebner. That's Hepburn. Well won by Carberry. Marlin seemed to be wrapped from behind by Redburn, but this is Lochray for Arthurlie. Now Ebner. Graham coming up in support, number 2. And the free kick for that challenge by Cowie on Ebner. The free kick to Arthurlie. There's John Cowie on the edge of that wall. Ryan Crombie organising his wall. This time it goes to Heaney. And Carberry across to block the shot. Dougal leading it to Thompson. Now Ebner. McIntosh. Just beaten to that by Crombie. But the pace of McIntosh causing Pollok some problems. Graham and Ebner getting into a tangle. The rain begins to fall even more heavily here at Hampden. Strength, sapping conditions. John, makes me think in terms of substitute before very much longer.
Yes, I think it's been a very difficult game for the players, and you know, some of them are beginning to look tired even at this early stage, and one wonders what would happen if we did happen to have extra time.
Well, that's right. If it's all square after 90 minutes, we'll have another half hour, and of course that will perhaps condition thinking of substitutes. No, in fact, Arthurlie are waiting no longer to make a change. Down the track, number 12 appearing, John Henderson. There he is, waiting for a suitable break in the action. There's McIntosh. Good play by Hepburn. There's McVeigh. Hepburn again, that's cut off by Graham. Good ball inside, very intelligent play to Dougal. Marshall breaking on the far left. Well, cut out by Robertson. Now the calming influence of Mullaney for Pollok. Well, the tackling is very keen. This time Marshall penalised. So John Henderson still waiting to get involved in the action. No idea yet who's going to come off, but Henderson is a midfield player. Now the substitution. There's John Henderson, reinstated from Dundee. Will go straight into midfield. The man coming off is David Ebner. Well, he's done a lot of good things in the match, but perhaps lacking the strength to see out the full 90 minutes. So half an hour of the match gone, 15 minutes of the second half, half an hour to go rather. Pollok leading by 1-0. Norrie Fulton's goal still separating the teams, despite the recent pressure from Arthurlie. So Henderson going into the position vacated by Ebner, so that's a straight swap and no other change in the Arthurlie formation. And a break of the ball to Mullaney. There's the header from Mullen. Didn't quite get full power behind it. Mullaney playing a long ball wide. This is the first touch for Henderson. Hepburn in trouble, but a hand was used by Stephen. Just taking a look through the teams, John, to try to work out which may be the stronger in terms of strength and stamina if the game goes all the way.
Well, certainly Arthurlie still look the stronger team. The game's taken a similar pattern to the first half, with Pollok with all the early pressure, and in this half it's been Arthurlie, and they certainly look the stronger team at the moment.
But still no reward for their efforts, and here's Mullaney breaking for Pollok. Look how quickly these Arthurlie defenders close down the space. And they're getting the breaks now too. That throw into Arthurlie. Archie Loughlin was back helping out his defence. McIntosh just losing out to Mullaney. The throw this time to Pollok. Mullaney waiting for some movement. Gets it from Marlin. Mullaney again. Now Poulton is offside. Trying to steal in behind the Arthurlie defence. Cowie and Carberry in a misunderstanding. Here's Mullaney. Again, that pass from Mullaney was destroyed in terms of accuracy by the snapping attentions of Jackie Heaney.
Well, I think that's right. I think Heaney has been played an important part for Arthurlie. As you say there, he didn't win the ball, but he made Mullaney play the ball when it was too early, and the player that he was trying to find wasn't really in position. I think that's been a big factor in the game.
So another long ball from Brian Crombie to set up a Pollok attack. Andy Marlin fouled by Redburn. Eddie Doherty going forward into the box. Mullaney with the free kick. Here's Carberry, but he's offside. Far side linesman Kevin O'Donnell has the flag raised instantly as the ball was played. Carberry's header into space, but McVeigh is not getting on the end of these as he did in the first half. Now Heaney to Marshall. Again the skid on the ball, carrying it away from Heaney. The rain still coming straight down in rods. Conditions very difficult indeed for these players. This very big pitch. The story of the match in the terraces, the Brolly's up for some very damp spectators. Now Poulton and his marker, Isaac Graham, doing a policing job, being pushed for his trouble and winning the free kick. Graham latching on to Poulton whenever there's any pressure on the Arthurlie defence, leaving Redburn and Thompson to look after the taller figure of Marlin. Graham's header. Flicked on by Skippon, but again, pacing the ball, carrying it to Crombie. Well, the game perhaps going through a little bit of a lull now, with the players now having to think in terms of pacing themselves, conserving some energy for a big finish. A great deal at stake, and look at the surface water now holding up that ball, which might well have found Archie Lochray. Lochray is offside. Forced through by Henderson, but he was certainly about a yard offside, and the linesman reacted instantly. Well, that was the first evidence, John, of the fact that this pitch is now becoming sodden.
Becoming very difficult for the players now, and they must be getting very tired, and it's all now about who wants to win more.
There's Carberry and Dougal, they both obviously want to win. Now a race on for Skippon, beaten by Doherty. Played forward by Robertson. Mullaney cut off by Thompson. Well, I have the feeling that the next goal could well be very, very important. If Pollok can get it, I think they'll win the cup all right. If Arthurlie get it, it might just give them the lift to go on and win.
Well, I think that's right, and after all the pressure that Arthurlie put on Pollok early in the game, they still have no reward for that, and you just wonder maybe if their chance is gone.
And here's Henderson, beaten by Cowie. So the throw to Arthurlie, who are certainly known for fighting to the last ditch. Well, there's no question that the longer they go without getting a goal, the more difficult it's going to be to keep these tiring legs going. Well, John Towie this time appears to need some attention. Now the referee not allowing the trainer on. Marlin. Good interception by Marshall before Fulton could do any damage. Hall, that's going right through. And Skippon is brought down by Doherty. Little wonder he's angry. He was clean through and Crombie. And the referee taking a serious view of this. There it is. Skippon had taken the ball behind Eddie Doherty, and the feet taken from him as he did so. And that's the result. The first booking of the match for Eddie Doherty. Well, Bobby Skippon has taken a knock, but I think he'll be much more concerned about the fact that a wonderful chance to equalise for Arthurlie was denied by a piece of foul play.
Well, I think actually Eddie Doherty, to me it was quite unintentional. I don't think he realised Bobby Skippon was there, and all of a sudden the Arthurlie player appeared from nowhere and put him under pressure, and I just think he was a bit late.
So there's Bobby Skippon getting slowly to his feet. Now the wall has 6 men in it at the moment. Ryan Crombie lining it up. Now can John Dougal provide one of his specials to put Arthurlie back in the match? Well, trying to flight it this time, but the judgment was wrong. Very difficult, of course, to play these dead balls from conditions which are very treacherous.
Well, I think it's very difficult. Even the best of players find that very difficult to try and chip the ball over the wall. I think you've got to take a lot of practice at that.
I wonder if in these damp conditions there would be more merit in trying to hit it very hard, because it would certainly come off the turf at some rate if it didn't hit a puddle. So there's Hall's header out. John Henderson. Loughrey seems to be getting stronger and fitter as the game goes on. McIntosh screening it from Hall, help from Henderson. There's Loughrey if he can keep the ball in play. Well, his attempts to get round Mick Hepburn resulting in the goal kick. Loughrey and Eddie Doherty both have losers' medals for Rob Roy. So one of them will again be disappointed. Here's Doherty showing the kind of determination it takes to win cup finals. Good touch on by Carberry. Thompson forced into that sliding challenge with Mullaney. The throw to Pollok.
Well, it's beginning to look very much that this one goal might win the game. None of the two teams look like scoring at this stage.
Well, here's McVeigh now, socks at the ankles. And the powerful figure of Isaac Graham clashing with that of Tommy Carberry. Pollok to win possession. Henderson running into trouble. The first victim, I think, of cramp on the far side of the field. Alec McVeigh. There he is. I think that seems to me like cramp, John.
Looks very much like it. Very tired legs at this stage. I think it'll take a supreme effort now from Arthurlie to get this equaliser.
Well, he's one man. Pollok certainly won't want to lose, because even though he's gone through a quiet spell, he still has that touch of class and artistry which could conjure up a clinching goal at any time.
think Norrie Hall at centre-half has done very well for Pollok. I think it was a bitter blow to them and to Stuart Gold when he broke his collarbone. I think it was very important they filled that gap, and Norrie Hall has done that quite successfully today.
Yes, a man with a lot of experience, although he's by no means a veteran. I think we could estimate the age at about 29. But McVeigh will need treatment off the field. Pollok will continue for the meantime with 10 men. There's Marlin and Fulton, and they have little Graham getting back. Only once he let Fulton out of his clutches inside the box that I can recall, and that, unfortunately for Arthurlie, resulted in a goal. Now McIntosh. Inevitable shadow is Norrie Hall. Well, Hall's already been spoken to for persistent fouling, and that's another one. There's Marshall's kick. Now Henderson. Now Skippon trying to turn. Good intelligent header from Thompson, playing it wide to Marshall. Head up by Robertson. Here's Fulton. Got it away from Thompson, but couldn't keep it in. McVeigh now appears to be all right from the far touchline, but still not back in the... There he is now, coming back on. Although he'll no doubt be watched anxiously from the Pollok bench. Pollok substitutes Steve Howe and Alec McLaughlin. John Dougal coming out of defence. The half hour of the second half gone. Still Pollok 1, Arthurlie 0. 15 minutes left for Arthurlie to retrieve the match. So here's Norrie Hall, Norrie Fulton rather. That's a good driven ball in behind Redburn, but Marlin was waiting, I think, for the high chip. Skippon to the infield, picked up by Malani. Good ball towards Cowie, splitting the Arthurlie defence. The tackle from Graham, resulting in a throw-in. So Isaac Graham going back into the box, and the news coming through from Swansea is more bad news for Scotland. It's not another goal lost. Joe Jordan has been ordered off. So Wales 2, Scotland 0, and Scotland reduced to 10 men. Now McVeigh for Pollok. Severe challenge from Dougal, acknowledged. But the free kick to Pollok. Redburn organising defence, marking Marlin. McVeigh will take the kick. Aimed for Carberry at the near post, but Graham spotted it first. Well, into the closing 15 minutes. The anxiety on the bench is obvious. Here's McVeigh. Important challenge from Redburn. Now Cowie. That's a good shot. Well taken by Connaughton. So the clearance from Redburn, coming straight to Cowie. This time to control it and let fly for the far post. That was a very good save from Connaughton. Might well have beat the ball out towards Fulton, but held it at the first attempt. So now Pollok coming back. Want a corner kick on the near side. McVeigh coming to it. Marlin once is in the box, and it looks now as though Pollok have weathered the Arthurlie storm. And the deflection from Henderson's clearing header off Carberry gives the goal kick to Arthurlie.
think Pollok are quite content now to sit back. Arthurlie have all the work to do at this stage, and it's important they push men forward.
Now McIntosh trying to turn away from Hall, and that's Carberry. He's certainly covered many a mile for Pollok this afternoon. Thompson sweeping in behind Marshall, winning the throw-in off Poulton. Yes, it's a team that's chilling. They'll have to expend the greater energy to get back in the game. Pollok, of course, can afford to hit long balls towards the front men and stay behind the ball. There's a mistake, allowing a chance here for Towie. That could clinch it, and again, fine goalkeeping by Conaghan. There's a mistake from Isaac Graham, one of the very few he's made. There's Towie, and look at the angle, closed down by Conaghan. That could have clinched it for Pollok. Now trying to tee it up for Dougal. And Bate to Towie. Pollok's throw. And the referee will not allow it to be taken from there. There's the Isaac Graham. Tommy Carberry's back on the deck, and the referee's attention being drawn to the fact that Carberry needs attention. Well, he had treatment twice in the first half. It hasn't appeared to slow him down in any way, but success to knocks on that left leg. Still he recovers. Little lapse in concentration there. Carberry, plenty to say to his colleagues. So Pollok going to win the Junior Cup for the first time in their 73-year history. Certainly looking more and more like it as the minutes tick away for Arthurlie, and that first half goal from Norrie Fulton keeps Pollok ahead. 10 minutes left. Here's McVeigh. And Redburn coming in late. The timing was wrong. I think a contribution from the fact that fatigue must be setting in.
I think John Towie's a very tired player at this stage, and I think Carberry really is tired. That's why he's going down, pretending to be hurt, getting himself a respite.
So the free kick taken by Malani as ever. The far side is Doherty, and he got to that. But again, under too much pressure to direct the header accurately. So Eddie Doherty sensing a cup winner's medal. He's baked to Marlin. Arthurlie's throw. Well, the clearance from Malani was anything but delicate, but certainly effective. McIntosh. Again beaten by Hall. Marlin beaten by Thompson coming in, but again the throw to Pollok, and certainly they won't be unhappy to see the seconds ticking away as they operate the ball carefully up that right flank. So the first substitution about to be made by Pollok. That looks like Steve Howe warming up for getting ready to come on. Ball was out. The throw to Pollok. Fulton playing it back. Oh, and he robbed by Lockery. Still a very lively player for Arthurlie. John Thompson. Marshall still going forward. Now Loughrey. Good build up from Arthurlie. This is McIntosh. Brought down by Hall. Free kick to Arthurlie. Now here's trouble for Norrie Hall. Called over to the referee. Persistent fouling, obviously again the infringement. Now this could be serious for Norrie Hall. As I recall it, he was booked in the first half. No, he wasn't there. A severe wigging in the first half. I had the recollection that he was in trouble. That's just a booking. That would have been a tragedy for Hall if he nodded off just about 7 minutes from carrying the cup aloft. Google leads it to Heaney. Oh, beyond McIntosh, flicked on by Doherty. Goal kick is given. So John Redburn going back into position, wondering just what he can do to inspire his men to one last supreme effort. Steve Howe still waiting in the dugout. Difficult decision, obviously, to decide who it should be to come off. Now skipping. McIntosh coming wide, followed by Hall. Thompson and Marlon. Curry playing it forward. Now McVeigh cut off by Redburn. McVeigh again. Marlon's gone offside. Management flagging the far side up instantly. Kevin O'Donnell, Airdrie, and that's Tommy Carberry. McIntosh riding that challenge from Hall the first time. Now he needs to. Loughrey, robbed by Hepburn. Norrie Fulton. Looking for Marlon, well cut out by Redburn. Dougal immediately under pressure from Hepburn. Gets it only to Fulton. Now Towie. We're into the last 5 minutes. Clock to prove it and to show the telling scoreline. Pollok 1, Arthurlie 0. So Pollok 5 minutes away from their first Scottish Junior Cup. Graham playing it forward. McIntosh still working very hard up front for Arthurlie. Henderson is skipping. Away from that challenge from Towie. Cleared up by Robertson. Well, John, can you see any way back for Arthurlie?
It doesn't look like it now. It's been a very, very testing game for the players, and they're looking very, very tired, and only a supreme effort from Arthurlie now can grab the equaliser.
Fulton headed on, that's Graham back. Well, he's a remarkably fit-looking player. Marshall. Dougal playing it wide. Dougal again. Can he find room for the shot? John Towie, I think, about to be booked. Playing against his former colleagues, the old Arthurlie player, now in a Pollok strip. There's no question though, John, when John Dougal gets into any kind of shooting position, Pollok gets men on him very fast.
Well, I think he's had a tremendous shot, and you've got to close him down very quickly, especially in these kind of conditions where the ball skids off the ground. Tremendous pace.
Just look at that Pollok wall. And Dougal shot, plenty of power, but straight into it. Loughrey is offside. Well, he's complaining to the referee, but it was a linesman who had his flag up. And he certainly had it up as soon as the pass was played.
Well, I think Arthurlie may regret some of the early chances that they had. They may live to regret them.
Well, here's John Towie to McVeigh. Pollok obviously happy to keep the ball in the flanks, especially in the Arthurlie half. Here's Fulton. So McVeigh with the throw for Pollok as the minutes tick away. Just 2 minutes left. Fulton screening it. That Arthurlie frame. Brought down by Graham. No, the referee decides there was no infringement. Goal kick to Arthurlie. .90 seconds left. Keeney's header on. This is Lochry. Can Arthurlie strike in a very dying moment? Marshall playing it in beyond McIntosh to skip in. That seemed to strike a hand of John Towie. Well, the referee waving play on, but will appear to hit Towie's left hand. Well, infringement given Pollok's way. Must have been a bit of pushing. And now into the last minute. And that ball into touch will give Pollok some welcome respite. Thompson back to Marshall. Cut out by Robertson. Thompson again. Marlin battling back for Pollok. 30 seconds plus injury time left. Referee and linesman checking their watches. The roar building up from behind Dennis Connick in goal, where the Pollok supporters are congregated. McIntosh getting a touch. Towie in quickly. He's battled so hard all afternoon for Pollok. Now Redburn to Dougal. 90 minutes are up. We're into injury time, and there's none of that big play. That's the final whistle. Pollok have won the Junior Cup. And just look at the jubilation. Norrie Fulton appears to be in tears. Taking him 12 years to arrive at this moment. The man has scored the winning goal in 21 minutes. Norrie Fulton. Oh, there's Fulton going off to greet his top supporter, Mascot. So there's the handshakes all round. Norrie Fulton still taking the salute of the crowd. Arthurlie bitterly disappointed, of course, but they've contributed so much to this final. It'll be Norrie Hall to go up. There he is, the Pollok captain, followed by Eddie Docherty, the replacement for the unfortunate Stuart Old. So they make the famous trip up the Hampden stairs. There's the Scottish Junior Cup. It will be presented by the Scottish Junior FA President, Davy Roy. There's Norrie Hall, the moment Pollok have waited 73 years to see. Norrie Hall holds the cup aloft. And the medals now presented, the most precious medals, of course, in Scottish junior football. The roar of the crowd greeting the cup being held aloft. And a happy supporter from Newlands Field behind the goal to our left. There's the Arthurlie players going to salute their own supporters after a valiant effort. They battled from first minute to last, overcame a very sticky spell to get right back in the match. But at the end of the day, it's Pollok who have won the cup. And here they come to bring the trophy out to give a close-up view to their supporters. Doherty and Hall holding it up. So that's the happy scene here at Hampden. The Pollok players crowded round the cup waiting for the photographs which will adorn your Sunday papers tomorrow. Pollok have won the Scottish Junior Cup 1-0. Norrie Fulton's goal in 21 minutes enough. That's the happy scene here at Hampden. It's goodbye from here, and when you rejoin us you'll be back with World of Sport. Well, Doherty coming into the team really as a replacement for the very unfortunate Stuart Hall, but doing very well indeed, John.
Yes, he's a very experienced player, Eddie Doherty. That was a tremendous effort. And Pollok certainly the side to have settled quickest. And there's the opening goal. Tremendous goal from Fulton.
And Norrie Fulton gives Pollok the lead, which they've been threatening for so long. For the ball played through the middle. The chase was on. The first man there was Norrie Fulton. Connaughton couldn't cut him off. And that's the finishing which has made Fulton such a hero in junior football for so long. So 21 minutes on the clock. Pollok one in front. And the lead, which they certainly could not be grudged on the play so far. Norrie Fulton, the happiest man in Hampden Park at the moment.
It was a tremendous effort. And Pollok certainly the side to have settled quickest. And there's the opening goal. Certainly the side to have settled quickest. And there's the opening goal. Certainly the side to have settled quickest. And there's the opening goal. Tremendous goal from Fulton.
And Norrie Fulton gives Pollok the lead, which they've been threatening for so long.
A tremendous effort. And Pollok certainly the side to have settled quickest. And there's the opening goal. Tremendous goal from Fulton.
And Norrie Fulton gives Pollok the lead, which they've been threatening for so long. 30 seconds plus injury time left. Referee and linesman checking their watches. The roar building up from behind Dennis Connaughton's goal, where the Pollok supporters are congregated. McIntosh getting a touch. Cowie in quickly. He's battled so hard all afternoon for Pollok. Now Redburn to Dougal. 90 minutes are up. We're into injury time. And there's none of that big play. That's the final whistle. Pollok have won the Junior Cup. And just look at the jubilation. Norrie Fulton appears to be in tears. Taking him 12 years to arrive at this moment. The man has scored the winning goal in 21 minutes. Norrie Fulton. Oh, there's Fulton going off to greet his top supporter, Mascot. So there's the handshakes all round. Norrie Fulton still taking the salute of the crowd. Arthurlie bitterly disappointed, of course, but they've contributed so much to this final. It'll be Norrie Hall to go up. There he is, the Pollok captain, followed by Eddie Doherty, the replacement for the unfortunate Stuart Hall. So they make the famous trip up the Hampden stairs. There's the Scottish Junior Cup. It'll be presented by the Scottish Junior FA President, Davy Roy. And there's Norrie Hall. The moment Pollok have waited 73 years to see. Norrie Hall holds the cup aloft. And the medals now presented, the most precious medals, of course, in Scottish junior football. The roar of the crowd greeting the cup being held aloft. And the happy supporters from Newlands Field. behind the goal to our left. There's the Arthurlie players going to salute their own supporters after a valiant effort. They battled from first minute to last, overcame a very sticky spell to get right back in the match. But at the end of the day, it's Pollok who have won the cup. And here they come to bring the trophy out to give a close-up view to their supporters. Doherty and Hall holding it up. So that's the happy scene here at Hampden. The Pollok players crowded round the cup waiting for the photographs which will adorn your Sunday papers tomorrow. Pollok have won the Scottish Junior Cup 1-0. Norrie Fulton's goal in 21.